Hi everyone, it's Duchess. So picture this, I'm scrolling through Minimap, probably procrastinating on something important, when I stumble upon a new account belonging to Patricia, one of my longtime subscribers. He is documenting his quest to marry the Harvest Goddess in Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town. Apparently, it's about as easy as teaching a chicken to play chess. I found myself totally sucked into Patricia's posts, which were really good and a ton of fun to read. He's a fantastic writer and a great content creator, so I definitely recommend you check his stuff out. Anyways, I was partly intrigued because I knew nothing about Harvest Moon until now. Reading through his adventure, I realized this game has more layers than an onion wearing a sweater. The gameplay mechanics are deep with a ton of variables that I wouldn't expect from a GBA game. So naturally I thought, why not jump into this game myself? I'm diving into my own playthrough, no grand schemes or ambitions to marry a goddess. I'm just vibing for one in-game year and dragging all of you along for the ride. My only real goal is to build a farm that doesn't look like a tornado hit it, and maybe find someone to marry my virtual self. Alright, but that's enough chit chat. Let's get this show on the road and see where this goes. I named myself the Shismo, my go-to male alter ego for games lacking a female character option. I stuck with the original game despite more Friends of Mineral Town offering a female protagonist, simply because it came out first. My farm became Meadowlands because it sounded cozy, and in true Latina fashion, I named my dog Papi. Upon arrival, the mayor tries to shoo me off my own property until he realizes I'm here to revive that old rundown farm the town's probably itching to slap with eyesore fees. Cue the backstory. Little Dashismo got lost during a countryside vacation, stumbling upon a farm owned by a kindly old man who helped reunite me with my parents. Grateful, my parents accepted the old man's offer to stay a few extra days. Nothing says family bonding like crashing at a stranger's rural home with minimal police presence, right? Fortunately, it all works out. I make a new friend and gain a pen pal who'd later gift me a farm for the low price of monthly letters. After going through the motions with the tutorials, I'm left on my own to figure out the rest of the game. It was definitely an adjustment getting used to the controls, especially with how rudimentary they are. But like any other game, this is a learning curve that I'll get over eventually. After finishing up on the farm, I decided to familiarize myself with the new environment I'm living in by checking out what Mineral Town has to offer. Right at this moment is where I meet Popuri. Or Popuri? Popuri? Well, whatever her name is. The pink-haired girl. She is the one I'm going to marry.
She's the one. The lucky girl I'm going to marry.
I had my reasons for picking her. Doing research, I found out that this game has rival bachelors for each of the single romanceable women, meaning that if I don't woo the girl of Dashismo's dream fast enough, another fellow will snatch her up. In Popuri's case, that guy is Kai, a visitor of Mineral Town who literally only comes by during the summer. See why this will work to my advantage? Popuri is a beginner-friendly route since her rival is only in town for 30 days in a year. That's more than enough time for me to romance her. I was surprised to find out that there's a church in this game, which is super interesting since Nintendo tends to shy away from the portrayal of religion in their games, or in the games they publish. The town's priest is Carter, and one of his regulars, or should I say his only regular, is this guy named Cliff. This man puts my church-going habits to shame. He is there, without fail, every single day. There's obviously something bothering him, because whenever I talk to him, he's going on about whether something is what he really wants or not. What is the deal with this man? Why is he so sad? I decided at that moment that this man must be protected. Near the end of the day, I got lost despite spending all day getting used to the overworld map, and oh my gosh. The sound that plays at night is legit nightmare fuel. The cheery daytime music comes to a halt and it gets replaced by the sound of wind and an owl hooting on a loop. This petrified me when I first heard it. Like, I know some games include nighttime music or just none at all. I was expecting it to be the latter. Like, it would make sense if there wasn't any music playing at night, but nope, Nasumi went a step above the rest and made me definitely not want to stay up late, just to avoid hearing that eerie sound. Getting the fishing rod boosted my income, but it came with an unexpected new nemesis, my inability to differentiate between the A and B buttons. For reasons beyond my comprehension, I became a serial item dropper. Fish, back into the sea. Vegetables, scattered across the ground. You name it, I fumbled it. My inventory management skills were just as bad. Navigating the rucksack menu felt like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. Select an item, back out, rinse and repeat. In my struggle, I reached out to Patricia for advice. His tips were nothing short of revolutionary. Apparently, the game is full of shortcuts that it never even tells you about, like the L plus B or A combo to swap inventory items. That was a total game changer that streamlined my routine immensely. Patricia, you're a lifesaver. On a less cheerful note, I had the, dubious pleasure of meeting Mana, undoubtedly the most miserable soul in Mineral Town. Our first encounter was a whirlwind of trauma dumping, her daughter's permanent departure from town, and her husband Duke's nightly descent into alcoholism. It's a stark reminder that beneath the game's cheery exterior lie some surprisingly dark themes, especially for a title aimed at younger players. The game's maturity isn't limited to Mana's problems. During one of Carter's sermons at the church, I encountered another surprisingly profound moment. He recounted a tale of a family grappling with the loss of their mother. The father, unsure how to explain death to his young son, tells him his mother is in a deep sleep. The child, in his innocence, asks if a big alarm clock could wake her up. Carter suggests that perhaps shielding the boy from reality wasn't the best approach. I felt a chill run through me as I read this. It's a deeply thought-provoking concept, one I never expected to encounter in a game like this. The narrative tackles complex themes with a subtlety that caught me off guard. In a lighter turn of events, Barley shows up out of the blue gifting me a horse. He assures me I don't need to worry about the horse, just tend to his needs, which, last I checked, is pretty much the definition of worrying about something. Still, I'm not complaining about a free horse. Especially after my experiences in Stardew Valley, where getting a horse is a late-game feature. I welcomed my new horse and named him Xander. I witnessed one of the first heart events at the clinic involving Ellie and the doctor. Initially, I thought these were just charming, cute cutscenes sprinkled throughout the game, but I soon discovered that nothing is ever random in this world. These scenes are actually rival heart events. Just as the Shismo experiences heart events with the girls he befriends, so do their rivals if I don't act fast enough. It's essentially the game's not-so-subtle way of reminding you that the matrimonial clock is ticking. After much saving, I finally scrapped together enough cash to buy a chicken. I named him Dinner. I'm unoriginal that way. It took me embarrassing long to discover the harvest sprites, those tiny fairies who will help around your farm if you befriend them. However, the befriending part is proving trickier than expected. I thought I read online that offering them grass would win them over and have them watering my crops in no time. Instead, when I tried it, they reacted like I handed them a live grenade. Just look at their faces, it's as if they'd never seen grass before. Further exploration led me to the spa and the mines. These spots will prove crucial when I start upgrading my tools, as I will need to supply Saibara with ore. My wanderings eventually brought me back to the church, like the stereotypical Catholic girl that I am. That's when I discovered that confession is a thing in this game, and let me tell you, it is brutal. Carter transforms into an absolute tyrant in the confessional. Breathe the wrong way, and he'll accuse you of wasting the harvest goddess's precious air and demand immediate repentance. It's hilariously over the top compared to real-life confession. Any priest behaving like this in reality would face some serious talks with his superiors. But since Carter has a monopoly on religious authority in Mineral Town, it seems his confessional reign of terror will continue unchecked. My attempts at wooing Popuri have been uneventful. I've gotten into the habit of giving her honey every day as a gift, but it's getting me nowhere. The heart icon next to her character sprite remains stubbornly blacked out. To add insult to injury, I experienced what I can only describe as the worst item drop moment in gaming history. Which was then followed by this glorious moment. Things aren't exactly looking up, but hey, I'm still learning the ropes here. It can only get better, right? Right? In between my romantic misadventures, I took some time to brush up on the Harvest Goddess, courtesy of Patricia's minimap post. With nothing better to do, I decided to introduce myself to her. She seemed pretty pleased to meet me, which was the opposite of Carter's depiction of her, and oddly enough, asked if I wanted to hook up my GBA to a GameCube. I'm sure there's some functionality thing going on here, but the details are fuzzy. Things were starting to look up as I settled into my routine, gradually improving at my daily farm activities, but then, out of nowhere, my chicken kicked the bucket! And not just any chicken, but my firstborn Dinner. I thought we were doing great. I've been keeping him fed and cared for since day one. but thinking back on it, I realized where I slipped up. I forgot to feed him on Sunday when I ran out of feed, and with the chicken farm closed that day, I couldn't restock. One day without food was all it took to send the poor bird to the great coop in the sky. I guess I should have seen the warning signs. Whenever I picked him up, a skull icon will appear above him. But I thought this meant he was just mad at me for not showering him with enough affection. The little guy was at death's door, and I was oblivious. But the circle of life waits for no farmer, and soon after Dinner's demise, Dinner Jr. pecks his way into the world. As spring draws to a close, I finally feel like I've made some tangible progress. I managed to snag the basket, which is a game changer for storing crops and fish in one place. At first, I thought it was just an inventory upgrade, but nope, it's literally a basket you lug around. Go figure. Popuri's romance continues to be a test of my patience. What else is new? The pressure's really mounting now with Kai's arrival just around the corner, bringing a new rival into the mix. I had another item drop moment, and this one was just plain ridiculous. Then, wouldn't you know it, another one of my chickens got sick due to an unavoidable missed feeding. But this time, I came prepared. I sold one of my chickens to afford the medication, only for the game to tell me that it did nothing when I used it. We'll see how this plays out in the coming months, which is just a day away, the summer season. And that's my take on this. Thank you for watching the video. If you're someone who loves exploring the depths of the gaming community, hit that subscribe button below and turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. See you guys later.
Pixels, where magic's alive. Touch just brings the joy, it's where dreams thrive.